I would like to make a reaction in response to the latest video of FunkyFrogBait about the video, about a viral video going around of men asking women what they prefer. Do they prefer to be alone in the woods with a bear or with a man? Well, and she discusses this video, and she thinks that actually the reaction, she says that it's justified because the statistics show that 1/5 of all women have been sexually assaulted by men. And I just wanted to react on the whole video because I think that just the whole video is so wrong. It just shows, I think, a very lack of respect for the other sex, a lack for care, and also a very, very generalizing and degrading way of talking about men, which I really, really despise. And I'm very sad because I liked FunkyFrogBait. Was a very nice YouTuber. I thought she was very funny. But it shows sadly, how distorted her view is on this topic, and how incredibly non-thinking she is about it. Because the problem, first of all, the video, this is about a video that was viral a couple of weeks ago about these men, a guy asking women what they prefer to be with alone in the woods, a man or a bear, and most women in the video say a bear. It is not clear if they have cut out answers, because there's a lot of jump cuts in the video, so I don't know, I think it is edited, which my first response would be to FunkyFrogBait is she takes the video at face value without maybe considering the fact that it is edited and that people are mad, because that's also what she's responding about, to the madness and the reactions of the men who react to the video. She never considers that the video could be fake, and which is very clear, which is a very, very real possibility as the video is cut. There are a lot of jump cuts, so maybe the percentage, the amount of people who would choose the man over the bear would be maybe equal or more than the bear, but they just cut it in a way that it looks very much as if there's a consensus. Again, I don't know if this is the case, but this is not considered by her, which should be a logical, that's where she shows her bias, in my opinion, is that she doesn't consider this. The second thing I would like to address is that she does not understand why men are why some men are reacting to this video in a very difficult way. It's like why men are reacting in in an angry way in their rhetoric. She thinks that the rhetoric of the men who reacted to the video by saying, by the reactions are actually showing that the women were right. Because a lot of videos, actually I have to say, some reaction of men were a bit nonsensical, saying that, what was he saying again? Well, that's just, bears are much more dangerous than men, but I think the point, one thing that I want to address is that one of the things that really hurt me about what FunkyFrogBait said is that she says that actually this phenomena is widespread, and that everybody who says not all men is actually kind of defending his own misbehavior, and that we should accept that it's all men, that it's you are neither good or bad, and so your behavior influences the behavior of other people, and that even locker room talk is actually kind of an expression of the same kind of violence as raping or murdering a woman. I think, and that's where I think that she does a very big misservice to women and to men, because the generalization of this makes it very difficult to be she really, it shows in my opinion really much that she has a problem with men. Because she says, not all men are like that, but yes, all men are like that. In some way she is saying that all men are like that. She, instead of saying there is a small minority of people, or there is a minority who is violent against women, that most people are fine, she thinks in the other way. She thinks that there is a small minority of people who actually are they are good, but most of them are rapists or are potential rapists. That is so wrong how she thinks. It really feels like she is like the biggest problem that I have is that she just she talks in a very demeaning tone to men, because she speaks as if men have some know-how about that it is as if it is common knowledge to all men that there are men who rape, and that as if these men are also in the life of other men, so that as if all men know each other and they protect each other, just like as if they are like the Catholic Church or something, that they protect their own. This is like, she's talking about sexism, but here she commits a date of sexism, because yes, it could be that most men who assault women are men, or most people who assault women are men. But this is coincidence. It has nothing to do with other men. It has to do with them being men. But it doesn't mean that all men therefore are like that. It's like they are humans, first of all, which happen to be men. Men is not a group identity. Men is just a sexual, it's just your sexual makeup, your genetic makeup. It's as if you say, yeah, well, all gingers there are a lot of gingers who commit crime, so or like there are a couple of gingers who commit crime, therefore all gingers, they know about this, and all gingers should watch out to not commit crimes. Like, as I get it, I also watch out not to commit crimes, but I don't think it should be generalized to men in this way, how it is being portrayed. Of course, men are more strong than women. That is definitely true, and this is also the reason why you see that the majority of people who commit crimes against women are men. It's because there is a power imbalance between men and women. But it doesn't mean that there is a proclivity to violence against women from men. It means that or that there is a proclivity, there's a more proclivity to violence than there is from women. There is just a bigger potential for men to commit violence than there is from women's side, because men have a stronger body. They are stronger than women, and therefore they have more strength, and they can potentially harm men more than women can harm men. Because we are not taking into consideration that when a man hits a woman, or a man seriously wants to hurt a woman, the possibility, the case where that woman also really gets hurt, the percentage of times that a man hits a woman hard, or in his intention, let's say the percentage of times when a woman or when a man wants to inflict harm to a woman, whatever that is, rape or beatings or murderings, the times that a man wants to do that to a man, if it happens, the percentage of the ratio between the intent and the actual outcome is much higher than the ratio between the intent and the outcome of women trying to inflict harm on men, because men are stronger than women, so men can protect themselves. So intended violence, or if you're only talking at outcomes, it's only part of the story, because outcome is based on your physical body. As a woman, maybe there are a lot of women who would like to inflict harm on men, but they are just physically not capable of it. So you should take this into account as well. And the other thing that I think is relevant, which is more about the video itself, and she takes this video as face value as very, very almost scientific, and when a woman says she is more afraid of a bear, a man than a bear, what is she really saying? She's saying that if you take a bear and you take a man, first of all, it's not specified what kind of bear. So if we ask all bears, are we saying also small bears, little, very small bears? If that is the case, then it's immediately ridiculous, the question, because if you take all bears and you also include the small, very small bears, and you then include men, like the amount of subtypes of men is much smaller than subtypes of bears. So it's not comparable. It's like asking, do you prefer to be in the forest with an animal or with a man? It's too big of a, like there are a lot of different sizes of bears, and they're not that different, much different sizes of men. So if we're talking about grizzly bears, for example, big bears, are these women saying that if you take one bear and you take one man, that bear is more dangerous than the man is more dangerous than the bear, because then there she is really just, then these women are just really not informed, because a man is just physically, let's say the ratio of strength between a man and a woman, I think that men are like 50% stronger than women, the upper body mass, for example, and 30% in the lower body. So upper body strength is 50% stronger. The man's upper body strength is 50% stronger than that of a woman, and the man's lower body strength is 30% stronger than a woman. So it's stronger. But compared to a bear is like, I think, 10 times stronger than a man, so 20 or like 150 times, no more. It's like 1,000 times stronger than a woman, something like that. 500 times stronger. It's a ridiculous difference. It's a giant difference. You cannot not take this into consideration. It's just ridiculous to say it. It's just even the whole premise is just dumb to begin with. Like, what are we saying? Do you prefer to stay with a man or with a tank in a forest? It's almost that bad. It's like, do you prefer to stay with a man in the forest or with 50 tigers? It's ridiculous. So, it being so ridiculous, I don't understand why FunkyFrogBait thinks still what she's trying to, what I think is very bad of her reaction is that she takes the critique of men as a negation of the fact that there are some women who are afraid of men, which is not the case. It doesn't mean that women are not afraid of men, but to compare it to a bear and to say that you're more afraid of a man than of a bear is just not, you cannot just say that. That's what I think is the problem of FunkyFrogBait, and what's just the most damaging part is that she doesn't recognize that you can be dangerous to a man can be dangerous to a woman, yes, but you can also be, relatively speaking, less dangerous for a woman than that a bear is. And she thinks that just the critique of this fact means the negation of the premise she invented, because that is not the premise that in the video is expressed. The premise of the video is not that women are afraid of men. The premise of the video is women are more afraid of men than of bears. And she just interprets it as, in the video they're just saying that women are just afraid of men in general. Yes, but you cannot say that you can critique still something and agree with it. And she just totally thinks like that men critiquing this fact, this fact of that in the video women appear to be more afraid of bears than of men, it means that all men are denying the fact that women are afraid of men in general. It's not a negation of that. It's just that you don't have to be it's just an exaggeration for most men to say, well, I can imagine that some women have some reservations against men, but not that much that you prefer to be in a forest with a bear. I mean, what are we talking about? And that she strongly defends this, to me, is very, very, yes, bad. It's just incredibly not rationally thinking. And that makes it dangerous because it's presenting the kind of image as the man as the ultimate boogeyman, the ultimate boogeyman. And I think this is just such a disservice and also not helpful to women, because women, first of all, get more. Women have to, if they want to or not, in daily life, they have to interact with men. So they are making their own lives into some kind of neurotic fear neurosis. Their lives become unnecessarily fearful because they are actually saying men are more dangerous than bears. And second of all, it is very antagonizing to men, and maybe men who maybe had already negative experiences with women, but were like, or men who didn't have any negative experience with women. It's antagonizing them because it's putting them, it's making all men carry the weight of a couple of bad people. And it is just like that. You are just, it's just a form of collective punishment when you say that all men are responsible, that it's a man problem. No, it's not a man problem. It's a subcategory of men. It doesn't mean that it is a man's problem. Yes, it occurs mostly in men, but that doesn't mean that it is a man problem, because a man problem would mean that it happens with all men. It's a subcategory of men. It would be the same as saying that, let's say a good example, of getting very angry because of your period is a problem of women. No, it's a subcategory of women who have very negative reactions to their period. Some women have more, and some women have less heavy reactions to their periods. So, and this kind of distinction seems to be made much more with feminists, that, we should be more subtle when we're talking about women, but when we're talking about men, we can make these very clear lines. This is just unfair. And I think it's a disservice, and it's only making men more antagonized towards women, and is putting women in actual danger, because they feel, and I honestly feel like this, I feel like I'm being, as a man, being unfairly chastised, unfairly judged for something I didn't do, for a crime I didn't commit. And I have to bear the load of, yes, it's a man problem. I mean, I actually think you should be more specific with how you speak, because the way how she speaks, how FunkyFrogBait speaks, is very generalizing and condescending. And that's a really bad thing, and I really hope that she changes this, because this kind of blatantly, without any care, speaking about men, it's also kind of, if women, it's also against, it's anti-feminist in some way, anti-emancipatory, because women believe that men should also be, emotional and emotionally open and emotionally, let's say that this kind of rhetoric plays into this logic that men can just take it. Just men can take all this logic and all these accusations, and they should just be like, they should just man up about it. They should just take this critique and not whine. Well, some men also are very sensitive. So, why do you think that why do you think that you should not be careful about the feelings of men? Like, the way you speak is not very careful. It doesn't show that you are considerate of the feelings of men. It shows that you're very not considerate of the feelings of men, which is totally contradictory to the way FunkyFrogBait speaks about the world, that it should be a more equal way, and that even men should be able to express their feelings just like women, and that these gender roles should be gone. And here she is indirectly enforcing these gender roles, because she is unjustified, in an unjustified way, accusing all men of the behavior of some men, in a way which is very, not in an observant way, not in a way as if it is her observation and just as a scientific, not just as a scientific observation, but as a kind of effect, as a fact that should be accepted by men. And yes, men should not whine and accept it. This is actually, she also said it in the video, that these men should just shut up, because they should just take it. Isn't this the whole problem, that men should just take it and be strong about it? That's the whole contrary of the abolition of gender roles. It's enforcing them, because men are forced to listen to all these very brutal and very unspecified accusations. And there's no care for their feelings. It's always as if the man should take this without being considered. This is just so wrong.